God bless you. My name is God's Gift, God's Messenger. I want to welcome you back to Christ Hype Magazine. And today I'm just going to be talking about, the Uniform Commercial Code and how there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about the Universal Commercial Code, but you have to have your third eye open so that you can see what's really going on. So I got the Holy Bible right here. This is the New International Version of the Holy Bible. And I'm gonna be reading to you out of the book of Mark, chapter 45. And Mark chapter 14, verse 45 through 51. Now, I want to bear in mind that the Bible is like a quantum computer, and it's very interdimensional, and it covers all bases of all creation known to man, and it is our basic instructions before leaving earth, but it's very informative, and everything that's in the Bible that's documented is documented for a reason. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing up in here that they just, that just put up in there and you just take it lightly. Even the smallest stories in the Bible, even the smallest stories in the Bible, you're supposed to scrutinize it with a heavy eye. You know what I'm saying? With a very trained eye. So he who has an ear, let him hear. Because we're going to be talking about the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, being exposed in a biblical scripture. It's not just, they don't put nothing up in the Bible unless it's relevant. So Mark chapter 14, verses 46 through 51. So I'm reading, and it says, the men seized Jesus and arrested him. Then one of those standing near drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. Am I leading a rebellion, said Jesus, that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I was with you teaching in the temple courts, but you did not arrest me. But the scripture must be fulfilled. Then everyone deserted him and fled. A young man, this is where I'm getting to. Verse 51, it says, a young man wearing nothing but a linen garment was following Jesus. When they seized him, he fled naked, leaving his garment behind. Now, why would they put, this is when they had betrayed Christ. Judas, one of the 12 disciples, came, kissed him on the left side of the cheek. That's the kiss of betrayal that the Illuminati and the Masons do when they feel like they finna betray you. They kiss you on the left side of your cheek. That's where that little science came from. You know what I'm saying? They kissed him. Judas kissed him on the cheek. That let the Roman soldiers know that was Christ and go seize him. They came and seized him. You know what I mean? Now, Peter came out, sliced one of the ears off of the soldiers. That's relevant. We can get into that too, but not right here. And then, why would they tell about a young man that was around Christ who had his garment on? As soon as they arrested Christ, you know what I'm saying, how that young man fled, and he fled naked. Why are they talking about him fleeing naked? Well, we learned that Christ had put his hand on the soldier's ear and he healed him. You know what I'm saying? Peter had cut off the soldier's ear when they grabbed Christ to arrest him. You know what I'm saying? Christ demanded that Peter throw down his sword, telling him that if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. Then he touched the man's ear and healed the Roman man. Then we hear that it's a young man that's looking around when all of this is going down, and he had his clothes on. Then he leave, you know what I'm saying, naked, without clothes. Why did he leave in nudity, without clothes? That's in there for a reason, because you have to understand that during the rise of the Hellenistic Empire, what they did was they implemented something very demonic where they made sex. They exchanged sex for money. You know what I'm saying? Like they created the UCC code, the Uniform Commercial Code, and under the Uniform Commercial Code, sex was currency, and also if a person wanted to make a huge money transfer, it required an act of sex to seal the deal. You see what I'm saying? And so by Christ, Christ represented, he was a figure that represented freedom. Freedom from, from Rome. Freedom from the oppressions of being a slave to sin. Freedom from the oppressions of being a slave to, to worshiping false gods. Freedom from the ignorance that they was promoting at the time, and the social injustice that was taking place at the time. Christ was a hallmark representation of freedom to his infinite degree. And so when the Romans came to seize Christ, and they put him in chains, and they was going to take him off to go be betrayed, I find it very interesting how a young man who didn't have no name, because his name wasn't relevant. You see what I'm saying? Why is it relevant for them to put this story in here? How it said that he was around Christ, and when he seen Christ getting arrested and taken off, all of a sudden he take off all his clothes and he disappeared naked. That is to say, you're crucifying the cross, right? They crucified, that is to say that they're crucifying Christ just, so that they can be, so that they can have full dominion to carry out the Uniform Commercial Code. You see what I'm saying? And by them crucifying Christ, this young man, as an act of freedom, he took off the uniform, the garment that was on him. He took off the uniform as if to say, you know what I mean? I will still maintain my freedom, and I will not participate in the Uniform Commercial Code. Now, the Uniform Commercial Code, when you were born, right, the government enslaved you by creating a birth certificate. You know what I mean? And when your mom signed the birth certificate, she signed you into slavery. You see what I'm saying? She signed you into slavery. They then created a fictitious person that that generated money for them. And the reason why, if you look at your birth certificate, your name is written in capital letters, because you become their capital. You become their commerce. You're a slave to the system. You see what I'm saying? You're a slave to the Hellenistic system. Now, when they say the country of America, they're really talking about the corporation of America. You see what I'm saying? When they talk about different countries and stuff like that, they're talking about corporations. It's just a big business to them. You see what I'm saying? When these governments go to war, it's really like a corporate takeover. It's an aggressive guerrilla act of guerrilla business warfare. You know what I'm saying? It's like a corporate takeover because that corporation didn't want to conform with whoever the stronger corporation is, and so it's a corporate takeover, and war is necessary. You see what I'm saying? It's all about money. It's all about the Uniform Commercial Code. That's why, they know that in order for blood to be shed, that it has to be, they have to create debt. You see what I'm saying? And so in their fictitious world, we're just commerce to them. We're money to them. You see what I'm saying? And throughout your life, they traded on your name. In fact, when the U.S. Constitution was created, it was created on slavery. When you look at the archives of the birthplace of the stock market, you learn that the stock market, the New York Stock Exchange in New York, was the place of slave trade. During the Atlantic Slave Triangle, when they brought black men over here, they said one black man was the equivalent of 10 white men, because the black man was very strong. He had superhero powers. He had an immune system that was completely combative against any disease that was around. You see what I'm saying? And he was very muscular and very strong. So one black man was the equivalent of 10 white men, because white men was very, sick, and they got diseases, and they was lazy, and all of this other stuff. They didn't have no power. All they had was fire. They mastered the art of fire. You see what I'm saying? They had their guns and stuff like that. And so one black man was the equivalent of 10 white men. One black man was the equivalent of 6 Asian men, you know what I'm saying, and 1 black man was the equivalent of 2 Native Americans. And so they would line up the different slaves on the New York Stock Exchange, and they would bet on those slaves. They would say, all right, I like that black man, I want him to come work my cotton. I like that red man, I want him to come over here and work on and teach us about plant properties and teach us more about the earth. I want that Asian to work on our railroad. So the New York Stock Exchange was started and created on slavery. So the Dow Jones industry, the NASDAQ industry, all these blue chip companies, if you look at those numbers, that's all fictitious. Like the Pepsi company that's owned by Procter & Gamble, which is a huge conglomerate that's owned by, you know what I'm saying, that's ran by the Rothschilds. All of those different numbers and figures is human beings, you know what I'm saying, and how the human being is making them money. You see what I'm saying? And so when the stock market goes up, it means that they're withdrawing a lot of money from that person's fictitious straw man, and business is good. You know what I'm saying? When the stock market goes down, that means that human being is waking up. He's becoming more aware of what's going on, and he's not participating with the system as a slave as he should be. You see what I'm saying? And so Pepsi is going down, and that's what the stock market is all about. You see what I'm saying? And so it's all biblical when this man who was looking at Christ being betrayed by Rome, by the Roman Empire, he said, I'm going to take off this uniform in a last attempt to spite the Uniform Commercial Code. You see what I'm saying? And that's what that whole thing was about. I need you to understand that we need to, in order to fight the system, you have to stop trying. In order to beat the system, you have to stop fighting the system from without. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no appeals and I have to register this car and I have to apply for my sovereignty. No, you are sovereign. You don't have to wait for the government to tell you that you're sovereign. You're already free, and you don't ever have to be arrested again. If the police pulls you over and says, license and registration, you have to let that police officer know right off top, you know what I'm saying, that you don't have a license or a registration because you're not driving, you're just traveling. By universal law, we have the right to travel. You know what I'm saying? If you're a driver, then that gives you the right, that gives them the right to impose a state-owned statute on you. But if you're just traveling, you're a traveler, and you don't have to give them your name or ID. So if they ask you for identification, you have to let them know. I don't have to give you an identification. If they say, what's your name? You have to let them know. I don't have to tell you my name. You know what I mean? And then you begin to ask them questions. Don't engage in an argument with them because you don't want to do that, and don't comply to none of their instructions because you don't want to stand under them. You see what I'm saying? They have all kind of legalese words like, to make you stand under them and to make you obey. And the moment you get trapped in putting your hands on the wheel and stepping out of the car, then you're giving them permission to own you. We have to understand, and we have to remember and come to a knowledge of understanding that as men, we're all equal. You're equal as the police officer that's trying to arrest you. You see what I'm saying? So you don't owe no man an explanation. That's why you don't owe him who you are, your name. You don't owe no man the right to have power over you. No man shall have power over you. So if you step out of car obeying him, then you're legally putting yourself under submission to him, and now he has the right to, to arrest you. But if you tell him, I'm not going to step out of my car, you have the right to do that because as men, we're all equal, and that's what they don't want you to know. So, the best way to beat the system is by not participating in the system at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the right. I don't have to tell you my name, officer. Are you done here? Because I'm leaving. You're wasting my time. I'm not driving. I don't have to provide a driver's license. I'm a traveler. I have the right to do that. You're wasting my time. You see what I'm saying? Withdraw your money from the bank. We know that the banks is corrupt. There ain't no reforming that. The reforming comes from you. Withdraw your money from the bank, and that's how we beat the system. So I'm God's gift, God's messenger. You know, break free from the universal commercial code. You're watching Christ Hype Magazine. God bless you.